I'm Stefan Steiner, and my guest today is Daniela Marino, co-founder of CUTISS. Welcome, Daniela. Please tell us who you are.
Hi, Stefan. Thank you for having me. I'm Daniela. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of CUTISS, a biotech based in Zurich. We are bioengineering human skin tissue on demand for people that need skin surgery. That's our daily job.
Thank you much for joining us. When I first heard about your project to engineer skin in 2015, I thought that's crazy. How did you came up with that idea?
And so I came to Switzerland for my PhD and I was working with stem cells all along. And after the PhD, I moved to the University of Zurich where I was a postdoc. And that lab was associated with the Children's Hospital. And the scope of the lab was to try and create human skin tissue for kids with burns and in needs of skin reconstructions like scars or cancer. And while I was a postdoc in that lab, I had the chance to raise a first very big grant for that lab. And this grant actually forced the entire lab to translationally move into a first-in-human test. And when we saw the results, I think creating the company was just a logical step. So that's how I came about.
You traveled then with the venture leaders in 2018 to
Yeah.
Boston. How did CUTISS benefit from this roadshow?
That was the first roadshow over ocean for me and for CUTISS. And it was a very great experience because we were pitching to a very high number of different venture capitalists, which didn't even know we existed. While when pitching in Switzerland, things were a little bit, I was more in a comfort zone. So it was very challenging, but it was extremely fun. And what I remember best is really that at the end of the week, all the groups could pitch each other's businesses. There was also a lot to learn. It was a very, very, very cool experience.
That's what we experience a lot after pitching 10, 15 times to investors. Everyone could help
Everyone-
each other and do the reverse pitch there. I also remember you took your family to Boston as you had two young kids at that time. How do you manage an intense investor week and also be there for your family?
Yeah, I have to say, I will always be grateful to Venture Lab allowing me that trip to be a combined trip with the family because my son was very young and my daughter not that big. And I thought staying a week completely away from them so far away would have been too complex to handle. And I thought actually if I have them closer, it's easier. Then I know where they are and I can go to them if they need something. And I brought with me my husband, my sister, and my mom. They thought, oh, Boston is actually cool. We come along. So at the end, I had three babysitters, the kids not far off, and I could really then enjoy the time because there was nothing for me to worry. And I have to say, this kind of mixed, possibilities and this kind of hybrid way of handling business has been with me since the beginning. And I think it has been a challenge in a way, but also a huge success because if I know my kids and my family is not that far away, I'm less stressed and then I can actually perform better and enjoy better.
But it also probably takes a lot of planning. I have two kids and I can feel with you, what are the challenges of running a startup and having a family at the same time?
Yeah, it's the planning. I mean, it's a double planning, right? You need to plan for your daily activities, which are 99% work related, but you can't forget about the plans at home. So it is just double as hard, and it takes a lot of coordination and a lot of organizational skills. But hopefully, as a CEO of a biotech, you anyway learn that by doing. So it takes what it takes, but it also have to say on the other side, it takes a lot of flexibility from your family waiting home. They know that you may change your plans. They know you might be late. They know that they may have to be adaptable as well. So in a way, it's also, I think, a good lesson for the kids to see how one needs to adapt and be, resilient and being flexible in life. I think it's anyway a good message for these young generations. Not everything is linear and works according to plan. So it's not too bad.
Exactly, a lot of flexibility, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. What have you learned from growing your company?
The company I'm running now grew pretty much in the last 9 years of life. So we are now almost 60 people, 60. We are running our phase 3. I mean, it's really the most complex and challenging time of the company. So what have I learned is that it's not easy. And the reason why it's not easy is because it's extremely pioneering, and that makes it actually very full of purpose. Like, if I can do this, this will mean a lot to me, but also to the patients and to my people in the team, which are learning things which are really, really at the forefront of science and innovation. And I've learned that you need to find, I mean, as a CEO, you need to really find a way to let off the steam and to recalibrate yourself every day, because there is days where I literally feel like the queen of the world. And there is days when I really like, why, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this to myself? And if you don't have that reset button, things get really bad. So again, going back to the kids, not to be monotone on that, but I have that reset button forced for me because I have to be a mom as well. But if it doesn't have to be kids, I mean, it can be anything. Just trying to find that reset button, because otherwise you wouldn't last 9 years, I think, on this road. It's a bumpy road.
Great. Let's talk about money. You have raised more than 100 million. What's your magic sauce to raise capital and win over international investors?
I don't know if I have a magic sauce. I think that people, especially nowadays, want to invest in businesses which can give a return on investment. That's the game of investments, but purpose is coming more and more into play. And I think CUTISS has demonstrated over the years that there is a need, there is a purpose, that we are really innovative in what we do, that we have a plan. And when you put all these, to go back to your example, all these ingredients together, people can smell the cake. And I think that's all that it takes. I mean, I don't think I have the perfect recipe, but one can definitely start tasting the cake when looking at the ingredients. And I think it's also a question of how you position it and how you demonstrate your competitive advantage, because the world is going extremely fast. And I think one of the major issues for many investors, especially in my last round, was who else is coming? Who else is going to be faster than you? Who else is going to take your share? And I think that it is very important to demonstrate that there is a chance for your business to be unique for at least a while. So it is very important to stay up at the forefront of innovation for investors. I think that's what they like best. Something really new, something really modern, something very innovative, and with a purpose that can generate also good returns.
So creating the fear of missing out for the
Kind
investor,
of.
that they need to be there
Yeah.
because others are there. That's a good
Yeah. And
recipe.
to be there, because really there, if you like the field and you like the story, you won't find point zero story somewhere else. So it's us. So then invest in us if you like it.
Excellent. The fire disaster in Cromotana pushed your work also in the media. You mentioned your treatment is right now in the late stage clinical development. What is the current status?
So our product is an advanced therapy. And to go to market, we need to go through at least 3 clinical trials. So phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. We have successfully completed and published phase 1 and phase 2 data. So there is very, very good ground for optimism. And last year we started phase 3 in different countries in Europe with over 20 clinical centers involved. So it's the largest ever phase 3 run by CUTISS. And this is now allowing us to confirm efficacy and safety, fingers crossed, and then being able to apply for a market authorization in different countries. This would then be, I think, the first loop that we close. Taking a company, taking a product out of academic hands and bringing it all the way to certification would be a tremendous success. Which is not the end of the story, but the beginning of the new phase. And that's where now we need to get ready, next level.
Crossing my fingers for you and the
All of
next
them.
with the clinical trials.
Thank
My
you.
last question, your biggest advice for a young person leaving university in 2026?
Leaving university, I would say continue research if you are in research, continue with more studies if you can. I think I would never skip my PhD if I was born again. I think there was really an added value to my knowledge, to my independence, to my way of thinking, to my struggling, because a PhD is a tough thing to go through. So I would definitely recommend to do that step if you like the academic environment. and then to really try to find your own purpose. Like, what do you want to be applying your brain into? And we see the world is changing. I mean, there is a lot of tech coming up, AI and everything. Just find something where you really think every morning you can stand up and go full speed, because that's, I think, the only thing that I value. And this could be an industry, it could be a startup, it could be still in academia, it could be anywhere else teaching. But it's very important to find something that you really can stand for, because we are living in a world where, there will be a lot of people that maybe will not be feeling comfortable at work anymore given the technology advancements. And I think if I would choose today, I would definitely go for the thing I like the most, not caring about salaries or geographies, or just go for what you love the most.
Finding your purpose. I think that's the great closing of our interview. Daniela, thank you very much for your time and for sharing your insights. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.